Hello friends! In this video I'm going to be sharing an unboxing of Anna Griffin's Finishing School Garden Fountain craft box. Boy, is that a mouthful. I'll also be sharing how I made this beautiful card with floating balloons with all of the dies that's in this craft box, plus some other brand name dies. Hi everyone, this is Marie Antoinette with Posh Paper Perfection and welcome to my channel. Okay guys, this craft box totally took me by surprise. I went to HSN and I typed in Anna Griffin new dies and this popped up. I had never seen it before and I thought, oh, well, I don't have a fountain. Yeah, why don't I get a fountain? The cards that I have made with the craft dies have all been so beautiful. I think you could make a card for every single occasion. So I'm just going to dive into what you get and then get to the creation of that birthday card die and also show you other cards that I have made. So in this craft box, you get 36 cardstock layers, 4 each of 9 designs that are 6 by 8. Okay. You also get 80 flat embellishments, 60 3D embellishments, 36 3D sentiments, 18 foil layers that are matte that are 6 by 8, 18 envelopes, 18 signature cards, 3 each with 6 designs, an idea sheet, and 6 metal dies. You also get access to Anna's Finishing School, a $60 value. This one die here, I can't wait to take the image and throw it into Cricut so I can get that middle part and do my own custom sentiments. So as you can see, this is everything they get. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive right into this birthday card project. There are 4 die cuts that you will need. You'll need the base, which is a 5 by 7 card, the easel, which attaches to the 5 by 7 card, the top of the garden fountain, and then the back of the garden fountain. Okay. This time when I did the garden fountain, I used a blue background, but you can use a white one. Now, this is the first one that I did, okay, and I had so much fun with these, to be honest with you. I even made a Valentine one, and you can see that they're both with a white background for that garden fountain, and there's a blue that is in the reflecting pool. And how I did that was just with some markers. Okay. So after you have all 4 of those pieces cut out, what you're going to want to do is assemble that card base. And I found that it looks better if you use the same cardstock for the easel. There are score lines, the top and the bottom. The top of the easel piece is wider. That goes on top, and the smaller piece gets attached to the fountain. Okay, and it's on the bottom. So I went ahead and scored that, and I put glue on it. Now this is what it looks like behind the card. If you don't like that, you can always cut another 5 by 7 and attach it on there, but I felt like it was okay to do it like that. You want to make sure you have it in the middle, and I find that, you know, again, using glue, you have a little bit of more wiggle room to kind of slide it to the left or to the right. When you use tape, you really have to get it right automatically. I mean, because especially the type of uh, tape that you use, you may end up just ruining the whole project because you can't get it off if you're, off with your measurements. To create some dimension, I put foam adhesive behind the garden fountain and attached it to the backing of that fountain. Okay, then I went ahead and took some glue and put it together. Now that small part of the easel goes in the middle of the fountain, and if you flip it up, you'll see where it's not supposed to be showing. So you just, again, with the glue, it helps you finesse it where it can get into the right area. So here is the way that I did my foam tapes, and you can see I have foam tapes everywhere because I just love foam tape. I use a thicker one and a thinner one, but you can use either or. Okay, and now I'm just like going ahead and attaching it. So magic, it's all those sticky places, the stickers on top are removed, and I'm just placing it on there very carefully. Normally I would use scrap piece of paper to do this, about 2 or 3 layers of scrap pieces of paper, and glue them on there, but I just didn't have time. So I went ahead and used the foam tape, and this is where you're going to go ahead and glue it. And when you finish gluing it, then you want to make sure that it's exactly in the middle and centered. Again, you want to make sure that that second piece of the garden fountain is not showing your easel. So if you want to make sure 100%, flip it over and look at it. Now you can see I'm kind of wiggling it onto the middle, but I didn't really have the easel centered perfectly, so I end up moving it again. So if you don't have it centered perfectly, it's okay. You can always take a pair of scissors and trim that easel portion so it doesn't show. But anyway, and that is the basic of your easel. Now you're going to want to create the stopper. Okay, this stopper, I'm going to go ahead and layer it twice, okay, and put foam adhesive on the bottom because I want it to be high enough where I can put that fountain upright and it not slide. So I found that, just increasing the height of that embellishment really helps. Now I could have used one of the note cards that was in the craft box, but instead I used my compendium rectangle dies and I created my own. Now what I'm showing here is if you have any kind of mess ups with your papers, this white paper I used for foiling, and the foiling went wrong. Instead of throwing it away, I kept it. And so just make sure that it doesn't show, isn't see-through. But I'm repurposing it. Nobody's going to know. And now I can write a note on there and everyone's going to be fine. But I really like doing it this way. And I'm going to attach that to the base of the card on the bottom. Okay, now it's time to embellish the card. The fun part, yay! And what I did was I made 2 flower pot arrangements. When I do the top, I like to use the green cardstock pattern that is included in the craft box. And then I'll cut 2 of those, and then 2 again in white, because I want to double stack it. And you can put this in your Xyron, or you can put it, use glue like I'm doing. And I attach the green side with the white side just so it's thicker and it has more dimension. Okay, and I do the same thing for the pot. I cut that out of gold. You'll see that I use the Xyron. So I have the backing there, and I just, peel off the top and then peel off the bottom and attach it to the white duplicate of that. Once the backings are glued on, then you assemble the plant to the flower pot, and that's basically what I'm doing. I put a little bit on the bush on the very bottom of it, and then I'll put foam adhesive to the back of the urn, and then I'll show you how I assemble that a little bit later. Alright, so here comes the fun part, the actual decorating of the fountain. And I'm actually going to be using some Spellbinders dies. You could use Anna Griffin's birthday dies. I don't know, for me the proportion is really off, and that kind of bothers me. But I do have the Spellbinders shopping cart party on. That's S41144, and in there I have a banner. So I thought, this would be really cute to take this banner and then some of these little banner cutouts, and go ahead and start putting them on here and decorating it. So that's what I'm going to be doing. The color scheme is the same as what is on the card. And I cut out a lot of those triangle cutouts, but I end up only having to use one per section. And so if you're doing this, I would totally recommend glue and a pickup, pick me up. I think it's a pick up. What is that thing called? It's called a pick me up tool. Okay. Use that because these pieces are so tiny, and on the end, that little push tool helps it push it into place. So after I did that, I just kept on going until I had the whole banner filled up. I'm not sure if I already mentioned this or not, but I did double up on the banner backing. So it's two black banners glued together, and then those triangle pieces glued on top. As you can see, it fits perfectly on that second part of the garden fountain. I really wish I had one that was longer for the bottom, but you'll see it later towards the end of this video that I end up putting a second banner on the bottom and masking it with the bushes, and I will show you how I did that. But right now I'm just gluing the back and putting it right in the middle, and just centering it, and yeah, and it looks absolutely so adorable. Now I'm going to show you how I put those balloons in the background and had that appearance of them floating. First off, I needed to find the appropriate balloons that were proportional to this project. The Spellbinders shopping cart die balloon is what I'm showing you, and it is extremely tiny. Okay, so I really didn't like that. And then I thought, okay, well, Anna Griffin has her own balloons. I should use those. There's no problem using those balloons. It's just for me, my taste, I didn't really, it didn't appeal to me. So then I have the Stampin' Up punch, and I went ahead and used that. I love it. And I used the two different sizes in the punch, punched out some glitter cardstock, and that's the size that I'm using. The strings that you'll see come from Elizabeth Craft Design. To create the illusion that the balloons are floating, I used acetate to adhere all the balloons together, and I'll show you how I did. So I took some acetate and cut it into a square, and I wanted it to be from the size of it from the middle of the second tier to the top, and I glued it right above where the easel is attached, okay? And it's just a plain square first. You'll end up fussy cutting around the balloons afterwards, but that's what I did. And the only thing I have to say about doing this way is when you put the strings in, make sure you know where you want those strings, because I had a hard time getting the strings in, as you can see, and I really should have staged it where I knew where the strings were and attached just the bottom part of the string to the acetate and then applied the acetate to the backing. It would have been a lot easier, but I didn't do it that way. So you can see that I'm now putting both strings on and trying to fit them in there, and then I'll glue those together to the acetate. Okay, and then I started staging the balloons to see where I wanted them, which one I wanted to have more dimension. The one that doesn't have dimension will be glued to the acetate, and then the bigger one, I applied a foam tape on the back of it, where very carefully so it can touch the smaller balloon and stick together that way. That's how that's being held together. It's not glued on the acetate at all. For the right side, I just repeated the process, same thing. Now, after this is put together, then you're going to want to fussy cut around those balloons. Again, I staged my balloons, and as you can see, that string was just too long and I needed to trim it down. So just know that you can do that too. You can adjust your embellishments however you see fit. Okay, so here is how I cut the acetate. The acetate is not glued to the back of this garden fountain solid, okay? So it's really easy to cut. You don't want to cut too much because then it becomes very flimsy and unstable and has the opposite effect that you want. The reason why I put the acetate is so it supports the embellishments, yet looks like it is freestanding, okay? Now, if you happen to get some glue on your acetate, it can be a pain to remove, but I used 70% alcohol and a Q-tip, and that seemed to do the trick. Just be careful that you're not touching your embellishment because it will tear down the paper. Okay, so if some of you film, you'll really appreciate the story. There is one more step to this. As you can see, I have two different images for this card. One with two banners and one with one banner. The one banner is the original video, which I thought that was corrupt and I couldn't get uploaded in my iMovie software. So I went ahead and refilmed it. And what a pain in the butt. That was another 30 minutes to an hour of my time, which I love you all, but I really needed to show how I created that banner again. So knowing that I had a second banner, you know, I said to myself, Well, you know, it's a real shame that I can't use it on that first pool of the garden fountain. But then it dawned on me that the banner could be the perfect length in between the two flower planters. So that's what I did. The last step was to add the flower planters to the flower garden, and all I did was put one piece of foam tape behind each piece and made sure that it was flush up against the 5x7 card base. And here is the final results of my project. Hey, do you think 2 banners or 1? Which one do you think is best? If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to comment below. And I cannot thank you enough for watching my video. I really appreciate you as a subscriber and viewer. Have a great day.